Voting, voting, voting. Watch us vote. They're finishing up the vote, the Democratic version of the Open Up the Government bill. And Chad Pergram is with us. Chad, what's the word there?
Well, this vote is still open. The Democratic plan, this is to invoke cloture, to end debate, to break a filibuster there. It needs 60 yeas. It's not going to get 60 yeas, so this is what we expected, the fait accompli. But here's the news flash on this. We have more defections from the Republican side of the aisle than we had on the Democratic side of the aisle for the Republican plan a few minutes ago. So far, we've had Republican Senators Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, Johnny Isakson of Georgia, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, and Cory Gardner of Colorado vote with the Democrats. What does that mean? Well, it's going to mean that when they close this vote in the next 5 minutes or so, that the Democratic plan scored more votes than the Republican plan, the plan propounded by the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and President Trump. That's significant. Now, again, this is a more narrow plan. It's just to reopen the government through the end of February, February 28th. So, you know, the real-time analysis here, Shep, is that maybe the path is just get the government back open and then they can negotiate some of these other things. That's something that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has talked about for a long time. Let's just get the government open. And what you're starting to see are cracks in that dam of people saying, all right, you know, we're willing to go along with this for a while. But what they're trying to do now is say maybe we should just get the government open and that's it.
Well, the bill failed. John Cornyn's at the lectern.
After my friend from Texas, could you give us an idea how much time you'll be using on the floor before we have the time that we were supposed to come immediately after you? That's my reason for raising that issue.
I promised my friend from Maryland I'll be less than an hour.
That's
They talk about time a lot, don't they? A lot of talk about time. It's time for a long weekend. Actually, Chad, they're about to take a 3-day weekend because they got so much accomplished today. I don't blame them. They must be exhausting.
Well, you know, what you're going to hear in just a couple of minutes is this coalition of Republican and Democratic senators, about 15 or so, and this is according to Rob Portman, the Republican senator from Ohio. They're going to come down to the floor and talk about some of these offstage negotiations that they've been trying to work out. Can they get something on DACA? Can they get something on border security? How far can they go on what's defined as a quote-unquote wall? And again, the key here, the final vote here was 52-44 on the Democratic plan. So the fact that the Democrats scored 2 more votes and that there were more defections from the Republican side of the aisle just to reopen the government is significant. That could be, and I'll underscore, could be the starting point here, Shep.
Anybody, what Republicans voted yes? I'm reading Romney was one who voted. Who voted yes
right.
on the
Here's who I have. I have Alexander of Tennessee, Republican of Tennessee, who's retiring. Johnny Isakson, Republican of Georgia. Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska, a moderate. Sometimes she votes with the Democrats. Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, again a moderate. And also Cory Gardner, Republican of Colorado. He's one of the most embattled Republicans on the ballot in 2020. The politics in Colorado have really swung since he was first elected as a freshman in 2014.
Huh. So those defections, can we expect that at some point there might be more? Because if you get to 60, you can get something done.
Right. But again, the math is the math.
Yeah.
They got to 52. That's a long shot to get to 60.
I'll say. All right. Should there be more from the floor? We'll let you know presently.